The scent of fresh bread mixes with the warm earth, carried softly on the gentle morning breeze. You wake slowly, the first light spilling pale gold through the woven reed screens of your small home beside the Nile. The air is still cool, but you know the heat will build quickly, pressing down on the land as the sun climbs higher. Around you, the household begins to stir. Soft footsteps, whispered voices, the low murmur of water being drawn from the river. You rise quietly, careful not to disturb the sleeping children. Your hands move automatically, gathering water in a clay jar, feeling the cool weight settle in your palm. Outside, the distant calls of birds echo over the vast fields, where farmers already tend their crops. Life here is a cycle, endless and familiar. Work at dawn, rest at noon, and toil again before the evening shadows stretch long. You think of the bread baking in the oven, a daily gift, but never enough. The scent reminds you of your mother and her mother before her, women who shaped this rhythm with their hands. Yet beneath this calm morning lies a deeper story. The work will be hard, the heat unforgiving, and the demands on your strength unyielding. Every day carries its own quiet. Struggles and even small moments of peace are fleeting. Have you ever wondered what it truly meant to be a woman here, in this distant time and place? To carry the weight of a family, to balance hope and hardship in equal measure, and to find your own way through a world that often forgets your story? If so, I invite you to stay with me, to listen and walk this ancient path together where every quiet dawn holds 1,000 untold lives. Please subscribe to join me for more stories whispered from the past, gentle and true. In the early light, as you move through your home, you carry the heavy weight of expectations that have settled on your shoulders like the desert sun. You are wife, mother, and the heart of this household. Your days are shaped by duties passed down from your mother's mother, roles you embrace but never escape. You manage the home, prepare meals, tend to the children, and ensure the small garden thrives despite the harsh soil and scarce water. Yet these tasks are just the surface of a life carefully measured by the demands of others. The stories told in modern times often speak of Egyptian women with surprising freedoms, owning property, initiating divorce, or even working as merchants. While some of this is true, the reality for many, especially those not of noble birth, is far more constrained. You have heard the laws spoken in hushed tones, and though they offer some protection, they also limit your choices. Your autonomy is a fragile thing, woven into the complex web of family honor and social expectation. The voice you hold is often soft, barely audible beneath the clamor of daily survival. Your mornings begin before dawn, grinding grain into flour, weaving linen for clothes, or fetching water from the Nile's edge, balancing the heavy jar with care. Your hands, calloused but gentle, perform countless small labors that sustain not just your family but the entire village. Yet these labors take a toll, aches in your back, worn skin from the sun, and a weariness that settles deep into your bones by nightfall. There is little room for personal dreams here. Your days are shaped by necessity and duty, not choice. What freedoms do you take for granted today that they could only dream of? Perhaps the ability to speak your mind, to move without permission, to decide your own path. These questions linger, quietly as you prepare the evening meal, your mind drifting between the past and present. Even in this life, there is resilience. You find moments of quiet joy in the laughter of your children, in the soft songs sung as you work, in the shared strength of the women who gather to support each other. Yet the weight of expectations remains, a constant companion, reminding you of the limits placed on your life, your body, and your spirit. Through your eyes, we begin to understand the true cost of those ancient freedoms, and the enduring strength it took to live beneath their shadow. The sun rises higher now, its warm light spilling over the flat rooftops and dust-colored walls of the village. Your day unfolds with familiar tasks, each one etched into your muscles and memory. You begin by grinding grain into coarse flour, the rough stone cool beneath your palms. The scent of dust and earth fills the air as you work, and the steady rhythm of pounding becomes a quiet companion. Water is next, a heavy clay jar balanced carefully on your hip as you make your way down the winding path to the Nile. The river's surface glimmers, reflecting the sky's soft blue. But the journey is not easy. The heat presses down, the sand shifting beneath your feet. As you fill the jar, you listen to the gentle splash of water and the distant calls of fishermen setting out for the day. This moment offers a brief respite, a connection to the life-giving river that sustains all around you. Back home, your fingers deftly weave linen threads into cloth, the fine fibers slipping through your hands like whispered stories. The work is repetitive but necessary, each garment a shield against the harsh sun and biting winds. Children call to you, their voices bright but demanding. You soothe and guide them, juggling their needs alongside your own weariness. Leisure is scarce and fleeting. Perhaps a shared cup of bitter beer with your sisters-in-law, or a quiet moment watching the sky shift from day to night. Even these small pauses carry the weight of the day's labor, settling deep into your bones. The lines on your face speak of countless suns endured, of joys tucked between hardships. Class shapes your experience, of course. A noblewoman may rest behind cool walls, her duties different, though no less confining. But for many like you, the grind is relentless and universal. The ache in your back, the tiredness in your heart, these bind you to women across time and place. Even in moments of quiet, the weight of the day lingers. Take a moment now and gently breathe with me. Think of your own routines, the small struggles, the little joys. How do they shape your world? In this shared human rhythm, we find connection across centuries, a soft thread linking your story to hers. Beneath the quiet rhythms of daily life, there lies a darker truth, often unspoken but deeply felt. You know well that the home, while a place of shelter, can also be a place of fear. The hands that help you with bread and water can sometimes deliver blows, harsh words, or harsher strikes. Domestic violence was a reality many women faced, often hidden behind closed doors and silent prayers. The laws of the land offered little comfort. Protections were fragile and often favored men, leaving women vulnerable not just in their homes, but in society at large. You remember the stories whispered among neighbors, women who endured more than the sun's relentless heat, who bore wounds both visible and unseen. Some sought refuge in the small communities of women who gathered quietly to share strength and advice, forming bonds that could weather storms. Through these connections, resilience grew, not as grand heroic acts, but as everyday acts of survival. A hidden word, a secret gesture, a carefully guarded trust. The legal scrolls speak of rights and punishments, but for many, justice was distant, and silence was often safer. You learn to navigate this precarious balance, finding subtle ways to protect yourself and your children. Whether through skillful negotiation, spiritual practices, or quiet defiance, women carved out spaces of power in a world designed to limit them. It was a resilience born not from choice but necessity. How does one find strength when the world seems so unkind? It is in the shared stories, the gentle hands extended in friendship, the fierce love for family that fuels quiet resistance. Reflect for a moment. What does resilience mean to you? Perhaps it is the small courage to face each day, the hope that tomorrow may be gentler, or the simple act of holding on when all feels lost. These threads of strength connect us, bridging time and experience, reminding us that even in hardship, the human spirit endures. Though separated by rivers and mountains, these women's stories echo each other across the ancient world. Beyond the Nile's banks, in Mesopotamia, the land between the Tigris and Euphrates, women like you face their own challenges. Here, the harsh sun beats down on clay walls and daily life is shaped by rigid social rules. Women's roles were often confined to the household, bearing children, managing servants, weaving cloth. But some could own property or run small businesses. Yet, like you, many lived with limited freedom, their voices often muted beneath the weight of patriarchy. In the bustling city-states of ancient Greece, life for women was sharply divided by class and citizenship. Most women lived much like you, bound to the home, their days filled with weaving, cooking, and caring for children. Public life was dominated by men, and women's freedoms were tightly controlled. Yet, in temple rituals and religious festivals, women found moments of communal power, a chance to step beyond the walls and be seen, if only briefly. Further west in early Rome, women's experiences echoed familiar patterns. They managed households, bore children, and upheld family honor. Some women, especially among the wealthy, wielded influence behind the scenes, guiding decisions and supporting causes. But for many, life was a cycle of labor and obedience, with legal restrictions that shaped their very bodies and choices. Still, through personal letters and stories, we glimpse their hopes, fears, and the small rebellions they crafted in everyday life. Across these lands, despite differences in language and customs, a shared human story emerges, women navigating, worlds built by others carrying burdens of work and care, seeking moments of joy and agency wherever they could. These threads connect your story to countless others, weaving a tapestry of resilience and quiet strength. If one of these cultures speaks to you, I invite you to share your thoughts or subscribe to hear more, because these ancient women's lives so distant yet so familiar continue to whisper their truths to us today. The soft scent of incense drifts through the air, mingling with the distant rhythmic chant of voices rising in prayer. You stand quietly among the women gathered in the temple courtyard, feeling the cool stone beneath your feet and the gentle warmth of flickering oil lamps. Here, in this sacred space, you find a refuge, a place where the burdens of daily life soften and something deeper stirs within you. Religion and ritual offer more than comfort. They provide connection and a sense of purpose. As a woman, you play an essential role in these ceremonies, preparing offerings, weaving garlands of flowers, and singing songs passed down through generations. Your hands, though often busy with labor, also hold the power to heal, using herbs and remedies learned from mothers and grandmothers before you. In these acts, you claim a quiet strength, an agency not always recognized in the wider world. The temple is also a gathering place where stories and wisdom are shared. Among these women, you are not alone. There is solidarity and shared faith and tradition. Even amid hardship, these moments create a community that sustains you, a steady heartbeat beneath the storm. The flicker of candlelight illuminates faces worn by toil, but bright with resilience and hope. Where do you find your own quiet strength in challenging times? Perhaps in ritual, in nature, or in the gentle presence of loved ones. Take a moment now to reflect on your personal sources of comfort, the small practices or spaces that renew your spirit. Just as these ancient women found power in their sacred roles, so too can we find peace and resilience in the quiet places within ourselves. As you settle deeper into your space of calm, I invite you to carry with you the lives we've touched. Today, the lives of women long gone yet still present in the quiet echoes of history. Understanding their days, their struggles, and their small triumphs helps us see beyond the grand events and famous names, into the heart of what it meant to live as a woman in a world very different from our own. Their stories invite us to feel empathy, not just for the hardships they faced, but for the resilience they showed in moments of sorrow and joy alike. When we consider the limits placed upon their choices, the heavy burdens they bore, and the subtle ways they carved out spaces of strength, we begin to appreciate the freedoms many of us take for granted today. The right to speak, to walk freely, to pursue dreams beyond survival. These are gifts made more precious when we remember those who came before. There is a quiet power in this remembering. It reminds us to be gentle with ourselves and with others, recognizing that resilience often grows in the shadows, in places unseen. Perhaps their endurance can inspire us when our own days feel heavy, or when kindness seems scarce. Their whispered stories are like soft lanterns lighting the path through dark times. As you drift to sleep, carry with you the whispers of these women's lives, quiet, strong, and enduring. Let their strength soothe your thoughts and their courage settle your heart. If you feel moved, I invite you to share your reflections or to ask for stories you'd like to hear next time. These histories belong to all of us, woven together by shared humanity and the timeless threads of hope. The sun has dipped below the horizon now, painting the sky in soft shades of amber and violet. You settle down on the cool earth beside the Nile, the day's labors folding gently into the quiet evening. The warmth of the sun lingers on your skin, mingling with the coolness rising from the water. Around you, the world slows. The chatter of children fades, the footsteps grow lighter, and the familiar night sounds begin to rise. Crickets sing softly, their song weaving through the reeds. A gentle breeze stirs the palm leaves, carrying the faint scent of jasmine and river mud. The steady flow of the Nile whispers nearby, a lullaby older than time itself. You close your eyes slowly, feeling the weight of the day settle into your bones, but also the small joys, the laughter shared, the bread broken, the love held close. In this moment, there is peace. The hardships and struggles you face remain, but they soften in the calm of night. Your breath deepens, matching the steady rhythm of the river, and your mind begins to quiet. This is a time for rest, for dreams that carry you beyond the boundaries of your daily life. Let the calm of this ancient night carry you softly to dreams. As you drift, know that you are part of a long, enduring story, one of strength, resilience, and quiet grace. If you wish to return for more gentle journeys through the past, please subscribe or join me again soon. Until then, sleep well, wrapped in the gentle embrace of history's quiet moments. You awaken to the soft cries of a newborn, a sound that fills the air with both hope and fragility. In your arms, your infant sleeps, their breath gentle against your skin. Motherhood here, in this ancient world beside the Nile, is a life woven tightly with love and worry, joy and fear held in a delicate balance. The bond you share with your child is fierce and tender, a light that guides you through each day's trials. From the moment of birth, the world seems both beautiful and precarious. You watch over your children with a vigilance born of necessity, knowing that the river that gives life can also take it away. Illness is a constant threat, and many mothers you know have learned the sharp ache of loss, burying little ones in the dry earth with tears that cannot fully ease the pain. These losses shape you, carving deep spaces within your heart where grief and love entwine. But motherhood is more than survival. It is identity. Through your children, your lineage continues, your family's story carried forward along the currents of time. You teach them the songs and prayers of your ancestors, the careful ways of the household, the rhythms of work and rest. In their laughter and growth, you find moments of light, brief respites from the demands that press upon you. Each small smile, each first step, is a quiet triumph, yet the pressure is unrelenting. You bear the weight of ensuring your children's futures in a world where life is often harsh and uncertain. Feeding, teaching, protecting. Each task is a labor of love and endurance. Your own needs are often set aside, a quiet sacrifice made in the hope that your children might know more ease than you have. What memories of family and love carry you through your days? Perhaps it is a whispered lullaby, a shared meal, or the warmth of a hand held in the night. These small moments bind us across time, a gentle thread of connection that endures beyond hardship. As you hold your child close, feel the strength in that bond, the legacy of love that no challenge can erase. Marriage in your world is both a binding promise and a practical necessity. It is not simply a joining of two people, but a weaving together of families, alliances, and futures. From the day you marry, your life is shaped by this contract, a delicate balance of duty, expectation, and sometimes unexpected affection. You wake each morning aware of the roles you must fulfill: wife, supporter, manager of the household. Your husband's needs and wishes often guide your daily decisions, yet within these constraints you find ways to assert your own voice. Through quiet counsel, gentle persuasion, or steadfast care, you influence the rhythms of your family's life. It is a subtle dance, sometimes harmonious, sometimes tense, where power is shared unequally, but never completely absent. Love, when it blooms, is often soft and steady rather than fiery. There are moments of tenderness, shared meals, whispered conversations after the day's labor, the simple comfort of presence. These small affections carry weight, a reminder that partnership is not only survival, but a source of solace. Still, the pressures are real. You navigate expectations from elders, community norms, and your own heart's desires. Your identity as a woman is entwined with marriage, yet you seek spaces for autonomy and respect. In your household, you hold influence, managing resources, guiding children, maintaining peace. This power, though often unseen by others, is vital. How do relationships shape our strength and survival? Take a quiet moment to consider your own bonds. The people who walk beside you, who shape your days and your heart. In understanding these ancient partnerships, we see reflected the complex, tender realities that continue to shape us all. The scent of fresh linen mingles with the warm earth as you settle into your small workshop. The steady rhythm of your weaving through the quiet morning air. Outside, the market hums with life, colors, sounds, and smells blending into a vibrant tapestry. Here, beyond the walls of your home, your hands create not just cloth, but a livelihood. Through skilled craft, you claim a space in your community, a quiet but powerful form of agency. Some days you leave your loom behind to join others as a healer or midwife, carrying knowledge passed down through generations. The scent of herbs and oils fills the air as you prepare remedies, your fingers gentle but sure. In these moments, your work touches lives deeply, offering comfort, hope, and sometimes new beginnings. Your role is essential, bridging the world of home and the wider community. Trading small goods in the bustling market, you barter carefully, your voice steady and practiced. Each transaction is more than commerce, it is connection, a way to weave yourself into the social fabric and support your family. Though the work is often hard and hours long, it brings a sense of pride and purpose. What skills or passions bring meaning to your days? Perhaps like these women of old, you find strength and identity in the crafts you shape, the care you give, or the connections you nurture. In these small acts across centuries, we find enduring threads of resilience and hope. In the quiet corners of your home, knowledge takes shape, not in grand libraries or formal halls, but in the rhythms of daily life. As a woman in ancient Egypt, much of your learning comes through stories whispered at night, hands guiding yours, through the weaving of cloth or soft voices teaching the names of herbs and their healing powers. This oral tradition is your inheritance, a living thread connecting you to generations before you. You also hold the delicate balance of managing your household's resources, measuring grain, planning meals, and keeping track of what little wealth you have. This practical wisdom is as vital as any scroll, ensuring your family's survival through seasons of plenty and scarcity. Through your careful stewardship, the household thrives, and your role as educator extends to the children, who watch your every move, absorbing lessons in patience, resilience, and skill. While formal education was rare for most women, some, especially in wealthier families, learned to read and write, opening doors to deeper knowledge and influence. But even without books, your mind is rich with understanding of the cycles of the river, the healing plants in your garden, and the customs that bind your community together. This hidden learning is a quiet power, shaping your identity and the world around you. What knowledge or wisdom has shaped your journey? Perhaps it is a grandmother's advice, a teacher's gentle guidance, or lessons learned through hardship and love. In sharing these reflections, we honor the many ways knowledge moves through our lives, softly, steadily, and with enduring strength. As the long shadows of history stretch across time, the stories of women like you whisper softly into the future. Though their lives were often marked by struggle, by limits placed on their bodies and choices, their courage and resilience laid quiet foundations beneath the world we know today. Each small act of survival, every word spoken in kindness, every secret taught to a daughter, every moment of strength in hardship, built a legacy not always seen, but deeply felt. These women, bound by duty, yet driven by hope, passed down traditions, skills, and stories that carried forward through generations. Their endurance is woven into the fabric of our shared humanity, a steady thread linking past to present. It reminds us that change often begins not with grand gestures, but with the subtle, persistent spirit of those who refuse to be broken. In this gentle reflection, we find comfort and inspiration. The past is not distant or cold. It is alive in the resilience that courses through our veins. It teaches us that even in the quietest moments there is power and possibility. What hopes for the future do you carry quietly within you? As you rest now, let these thoughts settle softly around you. If you wish, share your dreams or ask for stories that speak to your heart. Together, we continue the journey, one whispered story at a time.